Welcome to a new test and teardown video. Yes, it's another Brüel and Kjær. I'm playing with all that stuff at the moment. This one is a response test unit type 4416. What this can do is you can connect tape recorder or a pickup, and you can play back a record, and then you can take the left, right, or add it together, or you can even chop the two channels. We got some filters built into it. We got equalization. I think this is called RIA as well for pickups, obviously. So you can select different types of filters for that, and then you can start a recorder like a pen recorder or something like that, and then you can sweep the playback sound on a like XY plotter, and then you will be able to plot the level curves of different pickups or different tape recorders or stuff like that. So I think there is an automatic synchro start, so there's like a signal detection system, and then it will output a signal for a recorder. Yeah, let's try and look at the back so we can see the different connections. Oh, it's a little bit difficult. Let me pull this. Remote control and stereo. Oops, that is loose. Stereo output is probably for a tape recorder, right? And this is for one of those XY plotters, I believe, right? So this is a generator input, and this input goes to the tape recorder output, because two of these that will be input and the other two that will be left, right, output, input, output for a tape recorder. So that is what this generator input does. And this is the AC output. This is what I will be monitoring on the scope. Oops. Here is a few pages from the booklet about the 4416 response test unit. I'm not going to read everything here. I suggest you just hit pause and then read the text for yourself. I just want to scroll down to the functional block diagram. It is a little bit interesting to see here what's going on in here, because I'm going to play a little bit with this unit in the rest of this video. So I think it's an advantage if we see about the input preamplifier, the equalization, then the adder, the chop, the rumble filter, noise filter, and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, there's this synchronization starter. And then it shows the different curves of the different filters, the responses of all that. Not that interesting. It shows some setups about how you can use a tape recorder and all that kind of stuff. Yes, here we go. It shows the synchro starter circuit, how it is detecting a 1 kilohertz pulse. And that is, of course, something we need to test and play with. And yes, test records. Yes, definitely. This unit is all about testing records and pickup cartridges, how they work, how they perform. And if we scroll down here, they show different test records. Obviously, I would expect those to be very expensive, the way that they are manufactured in very low quantity and tested into great detail for their performance. And here we see two curves. And they say here the response is of two modern high quality pickups. And it's quite interesting to see one pickup there's a big difference between left and right channel, and then there is a very high attenuation of high frequency range from 10 kilohertz and up. While the other pickup, there's a really nice tracking between left and right, but then it's not that well performing in the very high frequency range. And obviously, one of those pickups is going to sound like it's more open, more clear in the high frequency range. You're definitely gonna hear this, the difference here. They also show here about the tolerances of the test records, how accurate they really are. And they are, of course, made as accurate as you can possibly make a record. So I think it also reveals a little bit about the record media as a high quality reproduction medium. It's not really to the last dB, but more or less plus minus 2 dB is, yeah, this is probably as good as it can really get if you're using the most crazy expensive equipment, really. Oh yeah, we're gonna skip the pages with all the data sheet for all the test records that they are referring to, and then we're gonna skip directly down to specifications of the 4416, and it shows a little bit about gain and noise and crosstalk and all that kind of stuff. So let's play a little bit with this unit. I've been reading quite a lot on the little booklet I got, and it explains quite a lot of briefly in how this unit works. So this automatic or manual synchro start of your recorder. I mean, you can hear there's a relay in here. So if you manually start, then you activate the relay and that relay starts your recorder. All right, so if you're in automatic, then it's going to detect a 1 kilohertz burst on your input, and then it's going to start the recorder. So and those bursts, they are on the start of all the sweeps on the test records. So that is exactly how it works. So what I'm going to do is here I'm going to activate both left and right channel. I got this resistor network here on my input, and if I turn on a 1 kilohertz tone, I don't hear the relay. So I mean, this auto detect system is not working. So far that is the only thing that I cannot seem to figure out how to make this work. I of course tried to burst this in all sorts of ways, but in the booklet it explains about the pulse being a leading edge of this pulse. So that means it doesn't matter how long it is, it's going to be the leading. All right, what else I've been trying to play a little bit with this unit here. Let me show you both of the inputs. We got 2 series resistors here just to get the voltages down, because it's millivolts, super low pickup signals that we input here, right? So let me take left and right together. So one channel is now 1 kilohertz, 1 volts here, and the other one is, let's just do 700 hertz. Oops, that is wrong. I said 1 volt RMS. Let's turn on the output. Ooh, that is not good. Why do I 1 volt and 1 volt? Why is that so bad? That can't be good. So that is one. So one channel here is completely overdriving. Ah, it's because I said 100 hertz. I mean 500 hertz probably. Okay, good. So see, 1 kilohertz, 500. Both of them mixed together, but you can also chop. So the chopper is automatically selecting left and right, 1 second each, like you see here on the scope. And this way you get both of the channels of a recording on your chart, on your plotter. So that's really nice. I also tried the different rumble filters and all that kind of stuff, and they do more or less what is explained in the booklet, so that isn't really super interesting. But one thing that I find really weird, and I think that is definitely not working, if I select equalization, here we got some filters. So this is the IEC. If I select linear, see, I get nothing. Okay, and if I select left or the right channel, okay, now it's completely different from before. That is weird. Why is it always different when I want to show you something? I had a 700 kilohertz output here. That was really powerful. I mean, okay, so there's probably some bad connection in this switch. That sucks. It could have been real fun to show you guys how it didn't work, but okay, damn it, it works. So now we are looking inside this beautiful unit. Yeah, I think this will be the power supplies, right? So here we go. The main transformer will go down to the diodes and all those capacitors and transistors and stuff like that. Yeah, that's smelling a lot like power supply. See, an awful lot of tantalum capacitors, and I don't know if I start to get a fever every time I see these, but that's just the way it is. If they are used correctly, like in a high impedance circuit, there isn't really anything wrong with using them. But if they're used wrong in a power supply rail with peak currents allowed, yips, that is wrong, and then they will fail sooner or later. So that will be the remote control relays, and that goes to that connector. That is the remote control. The different outputs in nice BNCs here on the back. All that is great. I'm super happy we don't see any funky connectors here. It's just DIN and BNC. Welcome to the normal world of connectors, and that is just perfect. Now everybody is happy. And that is a nice plastic shield they have around the main switch here, so that means it's not lethal when you poke around with your fingers or your probes or doing maintenance with power applied. So that is definitely something I like to see. And those flat cables, they're getting more and more common, and that is definitely because like you saw in the old units, they were like full of wires and everything was handmade, hand soldered and all that kind of stuff. And you can imagine in production, all those wires from the transformer to the PCB, put all those wires in here. This color goes here, this color goes there, la 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 la. It cost a lot of time, cost a lot of money. So here we go. Save all that time, save all that money. Just be done real quick, real fast, and we're not going to connect anything wrong. See, this is a guaranteed success. We've got the switches here, and I really like those switches with the LED indicators as well. That is a very modern way to do it. It looks like the instrument is alive, and it can do this and it can do that. So, I mean, that is really good. It was that connector here where I had a problem, so I need to clean the connectors, and it's again full of op amps and all that kind of stuff. And if we look at the date codes in this unit, 1975 is what we see. So it is a little bit old, but not as old as a lot of other Brüel and Kjær equipment I've been playing around with the last few weeks. Yeah, it does really look a lot more modern, this one. So a lot of stuff happened to Brüel and Kjær over 5 years, really. And the PCB layout is really beautiful. You don't see a lot of wires and a lot of oops this and oops that and fix this with all sorts of cuts and wires and whatnot. Only a little bit here, but it could also be customer's own modifications. Also this little mod, a mod like that over a relay like that. Nope, I think this is definitely a production kind of mod, because of course you want a flyback diode on the relay. Oh, oops. Yeah, I don't want to say so much more about this unit. I actually just want to say thank you very much for watching. Maybe we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye bye.